Hello, everybody, and welcome back to 50 Shades of Tay. I'm Taylor Gonzalez, and I am so excited about my guest today. You know him as a writer, director, and actor who voices one of my all-time favorite mutants, Gambit, in both X-Men 97 and Marvel Rivals. I am so excited to be joined by AJ LoCascio. AJ, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you? I just noticed we're both wearing Disney shirts too. You've got Simba, and
Oh,
I've got a vintage Epcot shirt on. So
oh
it's
my gosh.
yeah, we're thematically at least we match each other. But I'm
We're
good. How are you?
You know what? Okay, we're matching each other in two ways. One way is our Disney attire, and the other is that we're drinking out of lead-free containers.
Yes, my Lord of the Rings Burger King glass that for we were talking about this before that I tested and does not have lead in it. So that's exciting.
I know no one's gonna know what I'm talking about, but it's good. It's good.
That's fine. That's fine. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much for being here, first of all. I really appreciate it, and I love Gambit so much. He's literally
Same.
one of my favorite characters in all of Marvel, and you do such a great job portraying him across the different iterations that we've gotten from the series to now Marvel Rivals. So yeah, it's very exciting to have you here today.
Thank you. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, Gambit was my favorite X person, X, Marvel characters. So other than I went through a Spider-Man phase at some point, but I think we all do in our teens.
Mm.
But Gambit was always my favorite. So this is hyper surreal still to be any part of this. I will always I keep texting the directors and producers and be like, thank you for letting me do this.
Oh,
Like I still feel like it's very surreal.
yeah. Oh, no, I feel like I would be the same way too, but that's really incredible. You know, something about Marvel Rivals that I find really interesting is I feel like it's getting a younger audience as well, people who maybe didn't grow up with the comic books like I did, and now they're learning about characters like Angela and Jeff the Land Shark, Luna Snow, characters maybe they didn't know about because they weren't, featured in the MCU. If somebody is just now learning about Gambit for the very first time playing Rivals, what's something that you would want them to know about Gambit?
Wow, what a good question. Something they would want them to, oh boy. I don't know how to answer that. Because if you're playing Rivals, you get like kind of just an overview of who he is.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, you get a sense of how fun and kind of silly he can be, but also, I guess there's a depth to Gambit that I appreciate from. Look, if you're playing Rivals and you haven't seen X Men '97, go see '97. Go watch it. That's what I would probably say. It'd be like if you haven't seen this, you're not getting the full picture.
Mhm.
Because yeah, the thing that always drew me to him is he's putting on a show and he's being sort of arrogant at times and performative, but deep down he's a softie, and that's what I love about him is he just wants to kind of not fit in, but he wants to be appreciated and loved, and his obsession with Rogue is more than just a lust. He really loves her, and I think X-Men '97 portrays that really, really well. You get a sense of that in Rivals as well, but they're different formats, obviously. So I think it would be for anyone watching. Yeah, if you haven't watched '97 but you've played Rivals, it's worth the watch, very much so.
97 is incredible. I love it so much. It's so gorgeous. First of
Yeah,
all, like visually to look at, but then also the storylines, the animation, the voice acting, everything about it is just perfect. So I love it so
yeah,
much.
same. I'm still, yeah, it's incredible.
You know what I need to get? I need to pick up the Art of book. Have you seen it yet? The Art of
I have. I've signed quite
X-Men
a few of
97.
them, but I don't own one. I have the Art of book from the original series that my friend bought me before I was on this show because it was like a couple years before.
Mhm.
So I have that one signed by Eric and Julia Leewald, which I never thought I'd be friends with them when I got that book. So it's very, very weird. But yeah, I know the book. I've looked at it many times, but I don't own it currently.
Yeah, maybe I'll go pick that up this weekend because I need to add it to my collection too.
It's fantastic.
Mhm. So I was curious, how did you very first get cast in the role of Gambit?
Well, are we talking Rivals or you're just overall?
Overall, from the very first, yeah, the very first time.
Well, so I got an audition that, like anyone else, I got like a packet of like 12 different characters, and all of them had fake names. It was like, I don't. There was like John and Bobby and all these just random names, but the reference. So like there was a link that was like, try to copy this voice, and it was like Cyclops, Wolverine, Gambit, and I was like, oh my god, is this X-Men? And so I started trying to poke around and being like, what is this? I didn't get any answers, but I just was like, I'm just going to do Gambit. So I just focused on Gambit, which is not something I've told this story a few times, and my agents hate this, but I was like, I only want to do Gambit. I'm just sending it a Gambit audition. So I just worked on it for however much time I had to work on it, and just kept going over and over again and trying to get as close to Chris Potter's voice as possible, but also adding a little bit of something else, because it's like everyone's aiming for the same thing. You know, everyone's going to be trying to do that impression. So I don't remember what I did specifically, but just trying to give him, you know, the texture and fun that I think that Gambit should have. And then I got a call back and freaked out. And when I went into the callback, which is like you go into a studio and you read for them, it was terrifying. I mean, I was so nervous and so just like, oh my god, this is amazing, this is incredible. Oh my god, try not to be, try not to geek out. And my phone case at the time was Gambit's first appearance, the Uncanny X-Men 266, which was just I just had that because I like Gambit. So it was just a complete, and I like hid it from them because I didn't want them to see that I was that much of a nerd. But I did. I think towards the end of the callback, they knew what a nerd I was. I was like, "This is so cool! I'm so excited!" So it was very, very cool. And I found out later that they actually wound up using my audition in the episode. So
Oh.
I was getting messages from friends that had been cast on the show, like, "Hey, I went back. Hey, I went back," and I was just like, "What? Are they not? Have I been recast?" And apparently it was because they liked my stuff, which is awesome. I'm not trying to brag, but like it was terrifying to me. But they were like, "No, we just liked what you did in the callback, so we kept most of it." And I was like, "Oh, okay," because I was shitting my pants thinking, that I didn't get it because everyone else was getting called in. So it was amazing and also very, very scary because nothing is real until it's real, So even after them saying, "Okay, we've cast you," I was like, "They're gonna bring in a celebrity." So I was. There's no point in the process where you get to relax really until it's out, I guess. But even then, you never know.
That is so cool. And then now you're in Marvel Rivals, which is literally my favorite video game. I play it every single day,
Oh my
but you're
god, it's
not
amazing.
alone. It is so cool that you and Lenore, who voices Rogue, both got to make the jump from X-Men 97 to Marvel Rivals. And off the top of my head, I believe you two were the only two from any other things like that to make the jump. How did that happen that you guys were contacted to
I don't
also
know.
reprise the voices in this game?
It's weird because we were fighting for it in the sense that we were just like, can we audition? Can we audition? Can we audition? Like I kept asking my agents, like, hey, I keep hearing rumors, and I have so many friends that are in the cast. My buddy Scott White, who's Human Torch, is someone I'm very close with, and he was just like, hey man, I spoke to them and said if they need a Gambit, just to message you, and I was like, okay, cool, thanks, man, and like wasn't hearing anything, and then I started to see the leaks of the imagery and people, and then there was dialogue that had leaked, and I was like, oh man, they must have got someone. So I was just sort of waiting to hear something, and didn't for a very, very long time, and then 2 weeks. I think it was 4 weeks before they actually like released Gambit. I got an audition, and it was an audition for everyone. Like everyone got to audition, and it was sent out all across the net, the network. But I was getting it from so many friends, like, "Hey man, I did an audition because this is yours," which is incredibly. It was so sweet, and it's like, "Hey man, I did an audition." I was like, "Oh, but this is out there." I was like, "Thank you, that's so sweet of you," which is never the case. Matthew, who's Magneto, was like, "I auditioned." And I was like, "You son of a bitch." He was like, "Yes, wouldn't it be great if I got it and you didn't?" And which is great. Honestly, that's the only alternative I would have accepted if Matthew was Gambit. He was like, "I did the audition and I just did an impression of you." And I was like, "That's incredible." Honestly, that would have been fantastic. But I'm glad I got it. But yeah, as far as like why or how, I mean, I had met some of the Rivals crew in different capacities. I know Lenore is friends with Danny, it's Danny, right? Who runs
Oh,
I should know
mhm.
this.
Yes.
The head guy, who I only met in passing really quickly. And so it was, yeah, we were both just kind of like, hey, we'd love to do this. We want to do, especially me, I'm like, I want to do more Gambit. Um, so we were, yeah, just kind of trying to be in the picture or trying to be noticed without being annoying. But it was definitely not a straight shot. It was not like, here you go. And then I think when we recorded, it was like something ridiculous, like 2 weeks or a month later, it was released. Like it was the shortest turnaround I've ever experienced because they had all the animation and stuff done. and because there's no lip flaps, they you
Oh
just
yeah.
plugged us in.
Hmm.
Um, but I was so shocked. I was like, "This is coming out next year or 3 years from now." He's like, "No." Michael, who's the director there, was just like, "It's like 2 or 3 weeks." I was like, "What?"
Oh my gosh.
Um, but it was, yeah, it's weird because I was like, we wanted so badly to be part of it, and we know that they have their own cast that they use, and then also some people like Yuri Lowenthal is
Mm.
reprising Spidey, and
Oh yeah.
I think Fred Tatasciore is Hulk, which he's always Hulk.
Hmm.
So it's but so there was this combination of people that were new to this universe and then people that had done it before, so we didn't know where we sat if they wanted to get new people or what. But I was very thankful that they were like, "Yeah, come on in." I was like, "Oh, yay!"
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that is true because I interviewed Jim, who's Ultron, and he's been Ultron in a couple other video games and stuff as well. So yeah, but it's cool that you and Lenore got to make this jump together.
Yeah,
And
it's crazy.
I love Lenore's performance as Rogue.
Same.
How has it been getting to work with her over the years on these different projects?
It's so funny because I said this to her after like knowing her for a few months. I was like, I feel like I've always known her in a weird way. Like she's someone that's so familiar to me yet, and not through the watching her stuff, but just she's just a warm, feisty person. It's like hanging out with Dolly Parton or something. You're like, oh, this is someone that I just know, and I don't know why. I don't feel that way about a lot of people, but she just feels comfortable or familiar in a way that's hard to describe, and that's odd. Because yeah, I usually am very clammy when I first meet people. I'm like, I don't trust this person. I give them 2 years before I like them. So it's been great because I mean, we also sort of had to be fast friends because of going to conventions and stuff. And but I think she was one of the only crew members that I wasn't. Well, no, that's not true. I was just say some people I'd worked with before, like JP and I, were already friends. Matthew Watterson and I, who's Magneto, was him and I have worked together on countless things and spent hours and hours together doing motion capture and stuff. So we were very familiar with each other. But yeah, no, she's wonderful, and it's so much fun to have done stuff with her and to get to do stuff with her on Rivals. So Rivals is a little bit different because you don't record together, you're recording stuff separately, and because there's such a volume of things, it would be insane to be next to each other.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love Lenore. She's great.
Oh, she's incredible. Do you play Marvel Rivals yourself?
No,
Oh no.
which I always feel like a fraud, but I keep meaning to, but I'm I haven't played many video games lately just because I have so much to do with. So I create these little Halloween characters called
Oh my,
spoops.
yes, I love them.
Oh, gee, thank you. And I've got so many I'm still painting. It's like so I spend every night painting them and cleaning them and gluing and all that stuff. So like my nights are spent doing that. So I don't really if I sat down to play a game, I'd be like people are waiting for me. So I will occasionally like I will watch gameplay and stuff like that while I'm doing things, but I
Mm.
haven't sat and played it. I'm also intimidated because I don't. I've tried like Overwatch, and I'm like, I don't. I'm so bad at this. People are gonna kick my butt. So
Oh my gosh. Well, I guess I'll cross out my next question of do you have any tips for how to play Gambit?
I have no
But
tips. Yeah, I don't know how to play them at all. I'm too intimidated.
oh my gosh. I will say though, if you do ever get the chance to play, it is free to play. It's I
I have
feel
it
like
downloaded.
super
I have it
oh,
on my
okay, good.
Steam. I think my Steam Deck or my PlayStation.
Mhm.
I don't remember, but yeah, it's there. I just haven't opened it.
Super addicting though. That's what I'll warn you. Like you think, oh, I'll just do a couple matches. The whole day will go by. But it's so much fun. And I even emailed you when I got Lord rank of Gambit. I think he's the fastest one that I ranked up like all the way to Lord. I was obsessed. It's just so satisfying playing as him because the sound of the flick of the cards, and then he uses his staff too to heal himself, but then also his teammates around him. But if you can hit an opponent with that staff and knock them out, perfect. It's like so satisfying.
I feel bad because usually, I mean, I do play games and stuff. Though my thing is, I'm a Dark Souls guy, so I play
Oh.
mostly the Souls games or anything like that. So the last thing I was playing was Berserker Kazan, the last Berserker or whatever. I can never remember that title, which is just a Souls type game. So anything that's not in that genre, I tend to not gravitate towards. But it's Rivals looms over me, where I'm like, I have to play this because people ask me about it all the time. But
Oh my gosh.
yeah, I'm slightly intimidated to jump in.
No, I think you'll like it. I think it's pretty easy to catch on. Because my boyfriend he didn't play for a long, long time, maybe until like a year when the year anniversary was happening. But he would see me playing all the time, and then he finally hopped on and he plays as Jeff the Land Shark, and he's getting pretty good. So I feel like yeah, it's a game that you can I don't know.
All
Learn
right,
quickly.
maybe I'll try after this. I gotta
Yeah.
convince myself to take a break and stop working on other things because yeah, it's hard for me to stop doing things when I have a looming. I don't
Mm.
have office hours. It's just like every
Oh
day is
yeah.
like okay, every hour is dedicated to something. So the idea of sitting down and be like this is me time is very hard for me to justify.
Okay, you know
But
how I justified it? I was like, I'm interviewing the voice actors of this game. This is
I
work.
yeah, no, that's a good. I guess should contextualize it as work in my brain. I'd be like, well, you got to know how to play.
Yeah.
So great, and then I become addicted. Excuse me as I take a sip from my Arwen cup. Hold on.
Your lead-free cup.
Mm-hmm.
Well, while you're taking your sip, I'll line up this next question. So Gambit has some incredible, really fun lines that he yells out during the game. I'm a huge fan of his alt line of Gambit never folds. Did you have a favorite line to record?
uh, what did we improvised a lot of random things. Like at some point I said something like Monsieur Poisson or something like Mr. Fish for Aquaman or whatever or Namor.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and there was a couple things we added that was very funny, and at some point he had to laugh, and because we were just having fun. It's different than X Men '97, where it's like, no, we want him to have fun, but also like keep it fairly grounded. But for this, me and Michael, we're just sort of messing around because there at some point he like laughs and I jokingly went he ha ha ha, and he was like, oh my god, do that again, we're keeping that, and I was like, really? So I don't know if that's in there, but there
I think
is.
it is.
Okay, because we were cracking up because it was something that like was a joke that Gambit would do. Like obviously Gambit, that's not how he laughs. We
Mhm.
just thought it would be funny to do. But I'm trying to think of what everything gets squished into my brain. The one
Mhm.
that people like make me say is the Gambit never folds, which was fun. But when we kept doing it, or when we did it, Michael was like, "This is the louder, more louder," and I was like, "Oh, okay." And I was like, "Oh, this is gonna suck to do at conventions." Because I know like Eli or Elia, not Eli.
Mhm.
You'll see him all the time doing the like armed and dangerous, and it's like you got to find a way to do that all day without screaming it, or you'll blow out your voice at a
Yeah.
convention. So, but yeah, favorite lines. It's tough. I think I just had fun sort of messing around, and then also, um, there was some stuff where I can't remember the word for it, but at some point he references uh, oh god, who was it? Was it Rocket Raccoon? Is Rocket Raccoon in the
Mhm.
game? Okay, good. I want to make sure that I'm not breaking any NDAs. And there was a word for raccoon in Cajun that escapes me now.
Oh.
I came back in and I was like, hey, so I found out this thing. There's this word for raccoon that means little hands, and so they were like, oh, do that. So at some point, Gambit refers to Rocket in the with the Cajun phrasing, and I was like, oh, cool, because I try to incorporate as much of that as possible, because most people tend to just be like, he speaks half French, half English, and I was like,
Mhm.
that's not how being Cajun works. You have your own dialect and words. So they were amenable to me being like, I'm going to bring in what I can to these things if possible, but I also can't mess with their system too much because they have a tight deadline, need to get things approved. So that didn't answer your question at all.
No, that was so cool though. I learned a lot, and I'll listen out for those lines and the laugh the next time I play, which will
It's
be
I
honestly
haven't
after
heard it
this.
yet, but yeah, it's so he ha, ha, ha. Like we did it I did it like les poissons, and then yeah, and then it was like, oh my god, just we'll keep that, and I was like, what really? So I thought that was funny.
Oh, I love it. So Rivals is consistently adding new characters. We have Elsa Bloodstone who's joining the game next week. I cannot wait. I know you don't play, but is there a character out there that maybe, I mean, you can ask, I'll tell you if they're in it or not, but that is not in the game yet, that you would like to see join the game so you could have some voice lines interacting with that character?
I'm trying to think of who's because they got Deadpool coming.
Deadpool's so
That's
fun.
exciting. I would just like to see the rest of the X Men cast. I would like to see Nightcrawler, Beast. Um, I mean, Wolverine's in it. Yeah,
Wolverine's in
it's
there, yeah.
Steven. Is it Steve Bloom?
Mhm.
Um, I would, yeah, Jubilee. I just want to see more X Men cast, and I hope they bring back the folks from the show because that would be really
Mhm.
fun. I'm trying to think of who else. Yeah, I mean X Men cast is basically I think would be really really cool.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Beast would be great because we need some more tanks.
Right,
Nightcrawler would be so cool because you could figure out a way to make him teleport around the
that would
map.
be insane. I would love that.
Yeah, and what's cool about all these X-Men characters is there's so many different ways to use their powers to shake up the gameplay.
Yeah, no, totally. I'm trying to think if there's someone in the a Spider Gwen. Is she in?
Oh, she's not in it yet. That'd be a
She's not
cool
in it.
one.
I love the
Yeah.
Gwen characters. I would love to see like every version of Gwen in it. Like,
Yeah.
was it? There's like Gwen Vereen where she's Wolverine,
Mhm.
and it would be really fun. That would be really cool.
Mhm. No, I would love to see that as well. So Gambit has some iconic looks in the comics throughout the years, and Marvel Rivals is known for adding really cool skins to the game. Is there a specific look from the comic books or from X-Men 97 that you would like to see incorporated into
I think we all know
Marvel
what I'm gonna
Rivals?
say. It's the
Hmm.
crop top. I want the crop
Yep.
top with the beignets. Add a skin to his cards too, where he's throwing beignets instead of cards.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I would love that. That crop top was such a crazy, when it came out, people were like, "Oh my god, that's fun," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's Gambit. That's sort of the absurdity, the peacocking of Gambit that I love."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I any product or thing with him in that crop top, I'm obsessed with. So yeah, I would love to see that.
Yeah, I think it'll come when it's summertime again because there's a summer line already of like the Punisher, the Thing, Thor, Loki, like a bunch of the characters have like summer swimwear outfits. So I feel like the crop top will be
Amazing.
the perfect one. I was also thinking, I don't know if you've seen this yet, but there's an accessory in the game that Rogue wears. It's like a little plush
Yeah,
keychain,
yeah, yeah.
and
It's like a
it's
Labubu. Yeah,
yeah, like a little Labubu of Gambit, but he's in the maid outfit. I would love for them to turn that into a skin. I don't know if they will, but it'd be awesome.
that's really. Someone called it a Labobo, uh,
That
which
is perfect.
a Remy Labobo, which is very cute. Yeah, I would love to see more. Well, he like wears a speedo in the comics.
Mhm.
In some of those, that'd be pretty funny. It's like for summer, it's just like, yeah, he's just got a speedo.
Yeah, no, I would love that because yeah, Punisher wears a Speedo and the Thing has a Speedo, so it's like, why not Gambit?
Just a whole line of Marvel Rivals dudes in speedos.
Honestly, like as if I need any more reasons to play, even more than I already do. Oh man. There's something else I wanted to ask you about. I know you can't say much, but I am so excited for Maul Shadow Lord. Can you
Oh
tell
yeah,
me anything about it at all?
nope.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, there's not much I can. I mean, the only thing I can really say is it's really, really cool. The the depth to which they're going to make sure that this is awesome is not really. It's a very different project that I've experienced. Like even X-Men '97, I've they're very, very hands on, but this is different. I don't know. It's kind of feels very like tactile the way they've been crafting the show behind the scenes. They're very I don't know how to say this, hyper vigilant and aware of what, like, no, this has got to be better. This has got to be this. And in a way that's like, oh, hell yeah. Like, this is going to be awesome. So, yeah, so all I can say really is that I'm just so impressed by every level of the production. Like, even when we first started recording, it was like, here's the animatic. And it was like an almost fully rendered thing. And the way they work is just it's such a high level of not just technology, but knowledge and their love of making Star Wars feel like Star Wars and being fun and intense and in a way that I haven't seen from other I don't know other animated series. It's kind of a bit of a unicorn. So I'm excited to see how people feel about it and yeah. I'm like weighing each word I say to make sure I don't
No,
say
I
anything
don't
out
want
of
to get you
line.
in trouble.
No,
But I
yeah,
will
I mean
say,
it's just cool. It's really cool. Is all I could say.
yeah, the trailer is out and the animation style is gorgeous. It looks so beautiful, especially the lightsabers, the way that they
Yeah, they
move.
look awesome.
It looks so cool.
Everything's
And
very painterly, which is really cool. And yeah,
yeah.
there's a grit and a texture to it that I haven't seen in other places outside of like, I mean, I guess Spider-Verse. The Spider-Verse
Mhm,
movies have a little bit of that, but this is different. It's more rough in a
mhm.
really cool way. It feels
Yeah,
like Maul.
yeah, it
Yeah,
totally does. It feels like the natural like progression from the Clone Wars animation style. And then yeah, just knowing that it's Maul's show, it yeah, makes
yeah,
perfect sense to me. We can say though that you're voicing Marok. Am I saying
yes,
it correctly?
that's it. Yeah, 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 yeah. I thought it was Merrick for a while, but it's Marak.
Yeah,
Yeah, which
I wasn't
is
sure either, but I was like, I think it's Marok. So
it's super cool character. Yeah, nothing I can say other than
yeah,
yep,
no,
that's true.
that's what we can say.
Uh,
You're voicing that character. Very cool, very exciting. Can't wait to see that. I think it comes out in April.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe we'll do a follow-up interview once that has aired.
Once
Two
I'm allowed to
episodes a
talk
week. Yeah,
about it.
once we're
Yeah.
allowed to talk about it. And That'll be very exciting. And then one more thing before we go, I did want to talk about spoops just because they're
Oh,
so
sure, yeah.
adorable.
Oh, thank
And you
you.
have your books and you have the little spoop figures. If people are watching this right now and they don't know what we're talking about, how would you describe spoops?
So they were me just making little. They're basically the little spirits of Halloween. So they're tiny little, almost like hummingbirds that sort of create the Halloween spirit and feeling that we experience every year, and sort of tend to Halloween like little Halloween shepherds, almost like if Christmas elves were little spooky creatures. But they were just something that I came up with. I mean, honestly, I made them for me. Was how this story began. As I was like, oh, I want to make some little like sculptures for my desk and stuff, and just have little Halloweeny things. And then I took a picture of them and put them on my Instagram, and then sort of forgot about it. And they didn't have a name or anything. And then when Voltron blew up, people went through my Instagram and were like, "What are these? How do I buy these?" And I was like, "Oh, I just made them. You're welcome to make your own." And enough people were bothering me about it or like poking me like, how do I get these? That I was like, okay, I'll try casting them. So I did, and then it just kind of kept going and going and going, where I was like, all right, I'm casting some more. And then kind of grew over the course of like a decade. And then one of my, I think it was Josh Keaton, was like, hey, you got to write a book about this. And I was like, okay. So I did, and that's through IDW. And that came out last October. So it's been really wild. That's something that just started organically. I was like, I'm doing this for me, and then turned into something that's like there's keychains and pins and stuff at Hot Topic, which is really crazy,
That's
and
awesome.
it's really surreal. It's very 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 surreal, but it's something that I just love because I love Halloween, and this was my way of expressing
Mhm.
that love, and it's all very, for now, very much me centric in the sense that it's like I'm making the spoops and writing all this stuff and doing everything from. I mean, I have this lovely illustrator, Lori Conley, who I work with on the book, and hopefully maybe future stuff, we'll see. But it's just sort of my, I want to say side project, but I think actually it takes way more time than anything else. Because right now, like I said at the beginning of the interview, is I'm spending every night and day painting them. So I keep getting messages from people that are just like, "Where are they?" And I'm like, "I'm not gonna get these out till like May.
Yeah.
It's gonna take me like 6 months at least
Oh my
to
gosh.
ship these all out because there's so many of them." And I didn't want to turn anyone down in the sense that I was like, "Yeah, if you want a spoop, I'm happy to accommodate, but I may have. It's gonna take a while."
Oh my gosh. Well, I like you am in love with Halloween. So I wanted to ask, do you have a favorite Halloween costume that you've ever dressed up as?
Favorite Halloween costume? Maybe Rick O'Connell,
Oh,
because that
okay.
was a one that I was really like, I don't think people will get this, and the reaction was so intense because it was. It's funny, like I started developing it in 2020, which was kind of before the Mummy blew up the way it did now. Now it's had this like cultural resurgence, and so I was like, oh man, I'm really obsessed with this movie. I'll try making this. And then it was just wild when we were like walking around at Halloween events. People were like, "Oh my God, Brendan Fraser from the Mummy!" So I was like, "Oh, it's super cool." So that's high up there. And I mean, doing Gambit was fun, but not comfortable because I had made my chest thing that I had done out of really
Oh.
heavy resin, so
Mhm.
that was not comfortable. But I liked it. I was excited to wear it. It was not fun to wear.
Oh, that is awesome. Well, AJ, I cannot thank you enough for taking time out of painting your spoops to come and join me today. I really appreciate it. If people want to follow you and keep up with all your other upcoming projects you have and your conventions, where's a good place for people to follow you?
Just my name, AJ underscore LoCascio, LoCascio, I believe. Yeah. So that's usually it. I mean, Instagram's the only thing I really engage with. Twitter is basically a black hole.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's, yeah, I don't really use it that much. Sometimes I'll check in just because people send me messages, but for the most part, I don't engage on there.
No, I agree. Well, thank you so much for joining me. And everybody, check out AJ in Marvel Rivals and also in April when he'll be in Mall Shadowlord. Thank you so much.
Yay.
Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Bye.